They say the only thing to fear is fear itself. I used to believe that. For 3 years, working the night shift at secure space storage, I thought fear was just a trick of the mind. That, in the silence of the night, you were safe. But I was wrong. I was so wrong. Because some doors, they're just waiting. My life had become a series of escapes. After my divorce, I took this job because it was simple. It didn't ask too much of me. 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., 4 rounds a night, and the rest was mine. The pay wasn't great, but the quiet was a luxury. After 20 years in retail dealing with screaming customers and corporate politics, sitting alone in a silent office felt like a form of meditation. But the universe has a way of introducing chaos into your peaceful routines. Jerry, the day guard, came in to hand off his keys. "We had a weird one today," he said, shaking his head. "Unit 47. Rented to a woman who paid 6 months in cash but didn't bring anything to store. She just signed the papers and left." He paused, a strange look on his face. Had 2 different colored eyes, too. One brown, one blue. Weird, right? I just shrugged and took the keys. If I'd known then what I know now, I would have thrown them straight into the highway. My first round started like any other night. I went through Building A. The motion lights clicked on ahead of me and clicked off behind me. Everything normal. Until I got to Building B. I could see it before I even entered the corridor. The light over Unit 47 was on. It was supposed to be off. I rationalized it immediately. A faulty sensor. I made a mental note to tell maintenance. But as I continued my rounds, a strange feeling crept up on me. It was like I was being watched. Not by a person, but by that single, unblinking light. At 2 a.m., I did my second round. The light was still on. I stopped and stared at it for a full minute, half expecting it to flicker or turn off. It didn't. It just glowed, a cold, empty stare in the dark. By my third round at 4 a.m., I was getting seriously irritated. The broken light was more than an inconvenience. It was an insult to the quiet predictability of my job. As I approached, I could feel an unnatural chill in the air. But strangely, where the door met the floor, there was condensation. Thick, warm droplets beating up in the cold. I crouched down and a wave of nausea hit me. That's when I heard it. A soft, wet sound, like something trying to speak underwater. It was counting. Very quiet, very steady. 43, 44, 45. I stood up so fast I almost dropped my flashlight. The sound stopped instantly. For 5 minutes, I stood there, listening to the hum of the air conditioner and nothing else. But the air around me felt thick with a quiet dread. Back in the office, my hands were shaking as I pulled up the rental agreement. M. Carpenter, address 14-47, Maple Street, apartment 2B. My stomach was in a knot as I typed the address into Google. The first result was a news report about a fire. 2 years ago, 4 people dead. A woman named Margaret Carpenter from apartment 2B was one of them. I typed her name into the search bar and her obituary came up. The photo in the obituary showed a woman with long dark hair and 1 brown eye, 1 blue eye. My rational mind was screaming that it was a coincidence, but my gut was telling me something else entirely, something ancient and horrible. I called in sick the next night. I know, a coward's move. But I needed a day to pretend this wasn't real. When I came back the night after that, Jerry looked exhausted. He told me the lady had shown up on my night off. Tina, the relief guard, had seen her. She'd stood outside Building B from midnight to 1 a.m., just staring at the door. I told myself I was just being paranoid. But as I walked the corridors that night, a cold fear settled in my bones. Before I even entered the B building, I could see the light over Unit 47. And as I got closer, I could see shadows moving underneath the door. Not walking shadows, but a writhing mass of human forms. The whispers were louder now, no longer counting in sync. 12, 13, 91, 92, 37, 38. I should have run. Instead, I knocked on the door. The counting and the shadows stopped. Complete, total silence. "Security," I said, my voice cracking. "I need you to open up." A muffled voice replied, "I'm the renter. I have every right to be here." It was Margaret Carpenter's voice, but it was coming from somewhere wet, like she was talking through water. "I need you to open the door. Multiple people in a unit is a violation of the rental agreement." A pause, then a chilling voice replied, "I'm alone. We're alone." My flashlight beam was shaking. "Open the door, or I'm calling the police." The lock clicked. The door started rolling up, a horrible, grinding sound. It stopped about a foot off the ground. Complete blackness inside. "Come in," the voice whispered. "We want to show you something." I bent down and shone my flashlight through the gap. The beam just stopped, like the darkness was a solid wall, eating the light. Then a bone-white hand shot out from under the door. The fingers were too long, the nails caked with something dark, and it was reaching for my ankle. I fell back, scrambling away from the burning, wet grip. Laughter, not one voice but dozens, all out of sync, echoed from inside the unit as the door slammed back down. I didn't finish my rounds. I ran, sprinted back to the office, locked the door, and called the police. 2 officers showed up. They were skeptical. They cut the lock and rolled up the door to Unit 47. It was empty. Not a single thing inside. But the walls were covered in thousands of tally marks scratched into the metal. And they were warm to the touch. The officers noticed it too. "Kids, probably," one of them said, but he didn't sound convinced. They wrote a report and left. I went back to my office and pulled up the security footage. The camera for Building B showed me entering for my rounds at 11:15 p.m. At 11:18, it showed me leaving, walking backward, then entering again. I quit that night. I've been working at a grocery store, stocking shelves. The pay's worse, but I don't care. I thought it was over. But here's the thing. I still have the access codes to Secure Space on my phone. Every night at midnight, the woman in the burned coat stands at the entrance to Building B. 3 nights ago, she turned toward the camera. Her eyes were both there, one brown, one blue. She smiled and held up a sign that read, "Unit 48 available soon." Last night, she held up a different sign for Unit 49. But tonight, she held up a different sign. Not about a unit. It just had an address. My address. I'm writing this from my truck, parked outside a motel 3 towns over. I've been driving for 2 hours, but I swear I can still smell smoke. And in my rearview mirror, I can see them. 1 yellow headlight, 1 blue headlight, keeping pace exactly 3 cars behind me. I have no idea what's in those units, but I know for sure they're taking new tenants. If you like this story, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss our next video. And let me know in the comments below, what is the creepiest thing you have ever found in a storage unit?